I want to share God's story with you, and I hope that you will watch it to the end, because you will see God in it all the way through. I look back now and I'm just like blown away at how God was all in this. But and it was not over a day, it was over a period of time. So about 6 months after I came to know the Lord in August of 2018, I had the opportunity to go to Hot Springs, Arkansas to see Beth Moore. Now, up until that time, I accepted Christ as my Savior in March. I had not found a church. I was watching a lot of women teachers on YouTube, and I was buying a lot of study guides from Lifeway. And so when I had the opportunity, I thought, well, hey, that's a perfect opportunity. I'll go see her in Hot Springs, and then I can drive down and see my dad in Arkansas. My stepmother was in the nursing home at that time. She had Alzheimer's, and my dad was just having a really, really difficult time with it. It was hard on him. But anyway, so I was just going to kill two birds with one stone. So I bought 2 tickets to go to the event, because now, up until this point, I never did anything by myself. I mean, nothing. And the reason being I didn't do anything by myself is because I was, I'd go out and I'd be afraid, people would look at me going, yeah, she's not worthy of love. She's not worthy, she must be a really rotten person if nobody even wants to be with her. That's what I felt. That was a long time ago. All right. I don't feel that way anymore. I go to the movie all the time by myself now. But anyway, so I bought 2 tickets. Well, at first I was going to have my cousin. She couldn't do it. Asked one of my sisters. She couldn't do it. So I'm thinking, oh my gosh. Well, about that time, my dad called me and he said, look, Pam, we had to put Barbara on hospice. This was like the day before I was supposed to leave. And I said, to myself, that's good. That's my excuse to back out of going to Beth Moore. Daddy, I'll just come home. He said, no, you go to Beth Moore. And I was like, crap. So I had this extra ticket. And I'm at the airport. I get on Facebook and I'm like, advertise, hey, look, I'm going to be in Hot Springs. I got this extra ticket. Does anybody want it? Well, this woman who was from locally, she reached out to me, and I had no intentions of selling it. I was just going to give it away. Anyway, this woman reached out to me. She had to quit her job. She was taking care of her dad, who was, he needed her assistance. And she was just overwhelmed, overwrought, and she just needed a break. And so she reached out and I gave her the ticket. She met me at the hotel and I gave her the ticket. That was a blessing for me. It blessed me to be able to give it to her and do that for her. So anyway, I get to the, there were some other things that happened, like with my rental car, but I'm not going to even go there. Anyway, so I get to the hotel that night, and I'm going to catch the shuttle because I didn't know where I was going. I'm not really good about driving, so, and I didn't want to have to worry about parking. So I just caught the shuttle. We're all standing out front of the hotel, and the lady who picked us up, she says, okay, y'all are the Apple group. I'm going to drop you off right here after the session tonight. Just meet me right here, and I will pick y'all up and, and bring you back to the hotel. We're like, good. So the van was full. There's 13 of us in the van. So we get there. It was a great thing. Well, after it was over with, we all congregate, and all of us, there was 11 of us that were out by where we got dropped off, and we're waiting. Well, we look, and we see the van coming, and then all of a sudden it stops, and then 2 of the women that had been in the van, they had 2 other women with them. And they get in the van, they stop the van, and they get in the van, and I'm like, what just happened? So the lady who comes over picks us up, and we're like, wait a minute. There's not enough room. We're the Apple group. We're going to be too short. And I was like, no, and so I was like, I'm not getting on that van. And that woman's like, well, they're with me. And I'm like, I don't care. I'm a new Christian. I still have an attitude. So anyway, I met 4 women from Louisiana. And they said, well, if she's not going, we're not going. So 6 of us ended up sitting on the street. Well, they forgot about us. At first we were frustrated. It grew into us actually ended up enjoying each other's company. And Belinda had decided, hey, you know what? I'm driving tomorrow. You want to ride back? ride back with us tomorrow? And I was like, sure. Kathy, she was just going to drive to the drive to the event. So the next morning we get up, we drive in, and I go my way and they go their way. I go to sit down, and hold on. I'm sorry. They tickle in my throat. And there's a lady in my seat. Well, a lady in Kathy's seat. Kathy's books have been moved, and they were sitting in my seat. And I was like, that belongs to my friend. And she said, that's my friend's seat. And she said, I'm sitting here now. And I was like, well, excuse me? I'm having a hard time with this because I'm a new Christian, right? And I'm like, how am I supposed to behave here, Lord? And she goes, well, I'm sitting here now. And I was like, but where were you sitting yesterday? And she said, well, I was sitting right over there. She was sitting on the first level as you go up to the stairs. And I was like, well, what's wrong with that? I can't climb the stairs. It was one step. But I was like, but that does not, you can't, anyway. So I'm just like, I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to do. Well, there was a couple in front of me that there was a handicapped seating, the two chairs in front of us. And, they ended up having to move because the lady that was with them did not, the one that was actually handicapped didn't come. So the lady said, hey, you can have this one. And the woman that took my friend's seat said, no, I'm not moving. Well, somebody tapped me on the shoulder and said, now you have to get in the, I am just in tears by now. I am just overwrought. I don't know. I can't believe this is happening. I don't understand what's happening. And this woman reaches up on and taps me on the shoulder, and she whispers in my ear, and she says, sometimes you just have to show grace. At that moment, peace just came over me. I was like, okay. Well, the woman who had sat in Kathy's chair, she was still getting rowdy, and I wouldn't even say anything to her. I was kind of like, turned, I didn't have my back to her, but I was not, And she goes, well, you've already ruined this for me. I'm just going to leave. And I was like, I didn't even know what happened. I really, really don't know what happened. But her friend came over, and after she left, and she said, please just forgive her. She's going through a real rough time. She's just really angry. And I asked her what her name was. She told me what her name was. And I said, okay. And I started praying for her. And in that minute, everything had just started changing when the lady tapped me on the shoulder. But it was just like, I would have lost the whole meaning of the message if I'd allowed that moment to, to affect me. Anyway, so we get back in the car. I meet all the ladies from Louisiana, and I'm running short on time, but I meet all the ladies from Louisiana, and we're on the way, and it's a 3-mile ride back. And I'm going to have to do a second one, but it'll promise you the second video, part 2, is going to be short. All right, be back in a minute.